We're back high above the green acres of the Wingfoot golf course here at the US Open Championship of 1984. Huge crowds here, limited to 20,000, and Fuzzy Zoeller playing sparkling golf, the leader by 3 over the Australian Greg Norman. Hale Irwin, you remember, on the 8th hole, hit a low cut drive into the trees, could only knock it forward, and as Bob Rosberg told us, he was some 60 or 70 yards from the green in 2. His 3rd shot, well, one of those little pitches that these great men make so easy, or made to look so easy. This was taped slowly back, and a little push through, floated up to the flag, and a little gem. Also on tape, Greg Norman at the 9th. Lucky, perhaps a little fortunate to come back off the tree there, John Schroeder. Well, we'll get a report from John in a moment. It may have dropped the right side so that he can at least get it on to the edge of the green. Playing with Greg Norman, Jim Thorpe. Had quite a number of chances today, and just hasn't been able to capitalize on some very good iron shots, but still 1 under par. And that's a super shot. Here's Greg Norman and a word from John Schroeder.
Well, Peter, if there was ever a difference in the condition of the golf course, this is it. He's in the rough, but he's got really a perfect lie to try to do what he has to do, which is hit a low, either a low straight shot or a low draw and bounce it into the green. He just got to keep the ball down. He's about 190 yards from the flag. The way he's playing, he shouldn't have too much problem with this.
Hale Irwin missed that little putt, and so dropped a stroke at the 8th. So Greg Norman, having hooked his tee shot, hit the trees and got a fortunate break and a decent lie on the green at the 9th in 2, albeit a long way from the hole. This was Hale Irwin. We said that he bogeyed the 8th. Had this for a 4 and just drifted away, as Dave Marr said. That's the way they go, down the right-hand side. And Hale showing all the signs of a man who's just a little bit disenchanted and disheartened. Live now, Fuzzy, for his par, and really, you see the pace of that ball going into the hole. That's either bravado or confidence, I don't know, but it just zoomed into the middle of the hole, and he stays at 7 under par. There's 10 holes left to go. Greg Norman, his nearest challenger, with Hale Irwin looking a little disenchanted and disgruntled. Perhaps some of the noise of the gallery has got to Hale a little bit, and their verbal support for Fuzzy. Some other scores for you. Jack Nicklaus dropped another stroke at the 10th. David Graham took 40 strokes for the first 9. Hal Sutton, who was going so well, went 6-6 at the 16th and 17th, 2 double bogeys. Seve Ballesteros doing nothing. Morris Satalski, who was out in the 3rd group from the end, started with a triple bogey 7 and had another one at the 9th. He'll be out in 45.
Perhaps you weren't with us earlier when we mentioned this. For those of you who are interested in the sport of boxing, World Lightweight Championship. I think this is a bit more important right now. Here we go. Peter?
Well, I don't like all that signaling to the right, and the reason for that... Ooh, hello. Down in the forest, something stirred. It was only the sound of a bird, or Fuzzy's ball, I don't know, but that could be in all sorts of trouble there. We'll have a word from Bob in a minute, Bob Rosberg.
From across the fairway where I am, it looks like he's all right. I think he's in the area where the people have walked, and he has a free swing. There's no question about that, and really not much in his way.
Well, such is golf. If the gods are with you. Now here's Hale Irwin. He really needs something quite dramatic to happen to him, like a few good shots straight out the middle of the club and a couple of putts hold if he's going to become a challenger again. A real challenger, that is. He's still in third place, but 5 behind Fuzzy. And also cut away to the right.
And this one's really bad, Peter. This one is terrible. It's in the deep grass between 2 big trees. He's playing a lot like he did at Lytham and St. Anne's when he had a great chance to win the British Open and seemed to lose interest very early in the round.
Yeah, when he was playing with Seve Ballesteros, of course.
That's right.
He seemed to lose interest because he felt that Seve was wild and getting the breaks and the crowd was on his side. And for a man of his intellectual intelligence, I wouldn't have thought that he would have allowed those things to have bothered him, if indeed they do. Because he's got such a super game, but getting off to that shaky start was very costly. And of course those birdies, all those birdies by Fuzzy, what was it, 4 in a row? Terrific stuff. There's the 9th green. Look how it nestles up there by the clubhouse and those big Tillinghast bunkers. Not all that near to the green, but all part of the sculpture of the course. And this man, Greg Norman, a long putt here. He will be overjoyed to get down in 2. One under, so 2 putts to be out in 34. Good pace. See it just speed up at the end. And that's gone, getting on for 5 feet past, perhaps not quite as much as that. Very good run, good line. Greg Norman. Married an American gal, Laura, lovely Laura, and they have a daughter, Morgan Lee. There's part of the crowd moving up here with both the final 2 players in the rough, and a word from Bob Rosberg.
Well, this is the way the game goes. Fuzzy's drive went exactly the same line as Hale's, went through a couple of trees, got onto the path where the people walk. He has a beautiful lie and has to play about a 5-yard fade to get the ball onto the green. Hale has no swing whatsoever. He going to have to chip the ball out. It's strictly a chip-out shot.
Well, that's the unfairness and the wonder of the game of golf. Jim Thorpe up ahead at the 9th green after another good second shot, putting for a birdie 3. No, never had the legs. Greg Norman surveying his putt, and not that every putt isn't crucial. Quickly back to Hale Irwin, and you can see the miserable spot he's found under the trees. He's just got to flick it back onto the fairway, and it's been a cruel day so far for Hale Irwin. So he's played 2, and now, as I was saying, yet another crucial putt for Greg Norman. This to stay at 4 under, this for his par 4. Yeah, he's holed out beautifully. So he hit a bit of a wild tee shot and got a 4. Hale Irwin perhaps hit a slightly worse tee shot, and he's going to struggle not to take 6. But Fuzzy's ahead by 3 over the Australian Greg Norman. Now Jim Thorpe gets his 4 to remain 1 under with just 9 holes to play. Back we go. There's Fuzzy down in the Christmas trees.
About 190 yards, Peter, and a very interesting thing happened. When Hale saw where Fuzzy's ball was, he just threw his club up in the air in disgust. You don't see that happen very often.
Well, very like Lytham St. Anne's, as you said, Bob, but here's Fuzzy.
Well, it's got to fade. He didn't fade it enough, though. He's going to catch the left bunker.
Yes, he did. But that might have been a lot worse. That's the bunker shot that Fuzzy has to play. Not such a difficult one. It's all warming up.